Hi everyone, and welcome to Macrame Hanging Plants. The first thing you're going to do is gather all of your supplies. Take your twine first and make sure it's folded evenly in half to make a loop at the top. And then tie a knot to create your handle. You can see here that the handle is that little loop right on the top. The next thing you're going to do is split the twine into 4 sections of 2 strings and tie knots between each section. You want to make sure that your knots are at least 4 or 5 inches from that top loop that you just made to give it some space to hang. Tie a knot into each section. So you're going to take those 2 strings and in each one tie a knot. You're going to want to make sure that those 4 knots are pretty even. Okay, so now I have done all 4 of my knots. You can see they're relatively even. And the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take the strings underneath those knots and split them and then tie them together with the string from the knot next to it so that it sort of will create a basket. You'll see in some of the pictures later how this works if you need a visual. And see here, so it all connects. So do that on each side. Take the adjacent strings and tie them together. So the next thing you're going to do is tie a knot in all of the strings to tie them together. This creates the bottom base of the basket that you're making for the glass jar to sit in. I suggest tying that knot rather loosely so that you can test it. You'll see I'm going to put my glass jar in now to make sure that everything lines up and that none of my knots need to be adjusted because I want, as you can see, my jar to sit pretty flat so that once the rocks and the air plant is inside, that it's not like tipping or sort of sideways. So mine looked pretty good. So now I am adding my rocks and then I'm going to set my air plant right in the jar and put it back in the little macrame basket that I've made. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to take care of your air plant. So they enjoy light, but not too much direct sunlight. They do well in artificial light, so fluorescent light is best. You want to water them 2 to 3 times a week. You can spray them by misting them with a squirt bottle. And if your plant gets too dry, you can fully submerge it upside down in water for 1 hour and then gently remove the excess water and let it dry in bright light. You want to give it lots of air and circulation and make sure that it dries out if you have had to submerge it in water so that it doesn't rot. So enjoy your plant. Nice job.